Okay, well, good evening, good evening. My name is Phyllis Nash. I am the Chief Sales Officer here with Wakanda and one of the 4 co-founders. We have definitely been waiting for this January 2nd date for the kickoff, the official kickoff of our Flat Belly 2.0 lifestyle. And so I'm going to start off telling you a little about how Wakanda got started. See, we are the crown jewel of CBD, and our vision is we exist to help end the negative stigma that has caused communities around the world to suffer and lose out on the health and wealth benefits of the cannabis plant. Our mission is that we are the catalyst to stir a movement that inspires people to confidently move into the legal space as entrepreneurs, formulators, and investors, evoking the courage and strength of people to take back their health, wealth, legacy, and freedom. And so these are my 3 other co-founders. Aren't they phenomenal looking? Yes, we have Dr. Rita J. McGuire. She is our Chief Medical Officer, also the pillar of health. Dr. Rita has been an OB-GYN here in the Chicagoland area for over 30 years, delivering over 8,000 babies. And she brought some bundles of joy into the world on January 1st, New Year's Eve. She's not only OB-GYN, but she is an expert in the cannabis industry. She was asked to testify in front of the state legislature before they legalized adult use marijuana here in Illinois. And then we have Dr. Patricia Van Pelt. She is our president and acting CFO. She is our wealth pillar. And though she started with humble beginnings, she has changed that tide for her and her family. She is an evangelist. She is also a 4th-term state senator here, about to be, I'm already claiming it, state senator here in Illinois. And then Melissa Boston, our CEO. She is our pillar of legacy. She is the visionary behind Wakanda. This young lady I met over 14 years ago, and the day before she had fired her boss at the age of 33 years old, making 6 figures in corporate America. But she went into social selling full time because of the time freedom it afforded her to be able to raise her son. Guys, she became an MVP of 3 different companies, building teams in over 46 countries. And as the vice president of DARE, she never dreamed of being the CEO of a cannabis company. But guess what? She heard the benefits of what CBD did for people and giving them a better quality of life. And here we are. And myself, I am known as the midwife. I have been a traditional entrepreneur most of my life, only having worked 2 jobs. But I am known as the midwife of Wakanda because what I love to do is help you birth the possibilities that we're all pregnant with. And so look at our medical advisory board, headed up by our own Dr. Rita McGuire. We have a full service lineup here, guys. So proud of this. We have counselors, we have chiropractors, we have MDs, we have pharmacists, we have nurse practitioners, we have psychiatrists, psychologists, nurses. We have a full line professionals from the healthcare industry who are also out there sharing the benefits of CBD. Again, I am so proud of this medical advisory board, as you should be too. And guys, just think about it. CBD is so versatile, so very versatile, that you'll see it coming into so many different materials. And so CBD, we started off with our tinctures, our topicals. We added hair care. That's an $87 billion industry. Skincare, which is a $190 billion industry. Essential oils, $20 billion. And when the pandemic came around, we had to pivot and go into the immune and wellness industry, which is a $3.4 trillion industry. And guys, 288 billion for weight loss. And that's something we're going to talk about tonight. But not just losing weight and waste, but just turning our health around all together. And in the process, you'll be losing weight and waste. And so I'm going to bring on our CEO. As you can tell, I am so excited about this night. This is what we've been waiting for. We're going to change the world here at Wakanda. And so without further ado, Melissa, are you out there?
Hey, Phyllis, I am out here. How are you?
I am excited, guys. This is our phenomenal CEO, the visionary behind Wakanda, and now the gangbuster idea that she brought to the table. We had challenges, and that was because, challenges meaning we started our bitters challenge. We started our flat belly challenge. And then less than 2 months ago, to be able to come up with this phenomenal project that you're going to hear about tonight. This girl has been working 24/7. Is it 48 hours in a day? You would think so by the way she has been working to bring this to fruition for us and for all of us, for our families to be healthier. And I'm just excited about what she and Dr. Eric have done. You can tell I'm excited. So I'm going to give it to her and let her share why I'm so excited, and so many of you guys are. Melissa, take it away.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Phyllis is so modest. She is our Chief Sales Officer. We just love you so much, the passion, the enthusiasm in which you bring to the team as our midwife, helping all of us to give birth to unlimited possibilities. We want to thank you. And yes, we are super excited. We are fired up because it is 2022, and we know that it is time for a brand new you who is ready to renew, to take their life to the next level. I need you to hit us up in the chat so we can know you're out there. I see there's over 222 people, Phyllis, as I'm saying, who's ready for a new you in 22. We had 222 people exactly on the line. I tell you what, that means there's a divine appointment tonight, and there's going to be some of you who are going to absolutely join us on this mission, on this vision, and take your life to that next level. So yes, this is our Flat Belly 2.0. We are going plant-based for your blood type. Many of you have already started this challenge, and many of you are going to join us tonight. Here's a quick overview of what's going to happen. And there's actually was 22 comments. I'm telling you what, 22
is a number.
It is the number right now, okay? It's time for a new you in 2022. Phyllis just did our company overview. I'm going to talk about Take the Pledge, okay? I'm going to break down how we can help you have that new you in 2022. Then we're going to talk about plant-based healing. Our phenomenal naturopath is going to take you to the next level. And then we're going to close it out with Willie Mooney, our diamond director. He's going to go over our coaching program and our new scan procedures. So without any further ado, I have a question tonight, and that is, are you ready? Are you ready to live your best life possible? If you're ready, I want you to say, I'm ready. And maybe that best life for you means you can travel the world. Maybe that best life for you was like I was. I really wanted more time with my family, specifically my son, because with corporate America, I was working 70, 80 hours a week. So many hours that one day he called me up and says, Mom, you want to know something? I'll never be 5 years old again, and I have no memories of you at the age of 5. And then he broke down and cried, and that crushed my heart. And so I know there's some moms on the line. I know there's some dads on the line where perhaps for you, living your best life means being with your family. And then time freedom. Who out there wants control of your time? Perhaps that means for you living your best life possible. We're super excited because we know this information that our team is going to bring you tonight, it's going to equip you to live that best life. In fact, what we've learned through our team of experts, is simple dietary changes and adopting lifestyle alterations, including improved sleep schedules. So yes, we've got to get that sleep, okay? Taking probiotics, exercising, all of this can help us reduce and actually reverse our biological age by 3 years in just 8 weeks. And that's according to a new study. So we are super excited to learn about this and so much more, but there's some alarming facts that we first have to share tonight. In fact, when we think about diabetes compared to other races, African Americans are disproportionately impacted by deaths from diabetes. And that's according to the National Institute of Health. When we think about heart disease, do you know that nearly 48% of African American women and 44% of African American men have some form of heart disease? That's almost 1 out of 2 people that are on the line tonight. Is that alarming? In fact, when you look at it even further and you think about cancer, do you know that Black African Americans, we have the lowest survival rates for almost every single cancer, and that's according to the American Cancer Society journals. And then we look at the devastating impact on all communities, because I know we have some of our Hispanic brothers and sisters, perhaps some of our Caucasian brothers and sisters on the line. Do you know that all of us are affected? Because cancer and heart disease kill more than 1.2 million Americans every single year here in the United States. And so these are just some of the devastating consequences of our choices. And see, we're suffering the consequences of our choices. In fact, our phenomenal doctor is going to break down how we're suffering those consequences. But what we've learned is we spend a lifetime doing what? We overconsume on animal protein. We overconsume by eating dead processed food that's void of nutrients. And this is leading to us to actually having anxiety, depression, and even violent behavior. It's destroying our kidneys. It's disrupting our microbiome. It's impacting our hormones. And we know that the trans fats from the fried food is absolutely causing so much heart disease. And see, one of the things you're going to learn is what happens when you eat. See, we've oftentimes taken the act of eating for granted, but when we eat and drink, it's our body that's going to determine whether these substances are a friend of the body or an enemy to the body. In fact, one man's food could be another man's poison. I want you to marinate on that fact real quick. And see, there's a danger of what we call incompatible lectins. See, we've heard about proteins our whole life. We've heard about carbohydrates and fats. But what we never were taught in school was proteins contain something called an anti-nutrient. And when we eat food containing protein lectins that are incompatible with our blood type antigen, do you know that it actually can target your bodily systems? It can target your kidneys, your liver, your brain, your stomach. In fact, it actually turns your body against itself, because all of a sudden the immune system starts to think that there's these foreign invaders, but all it is food. And see, this starts to create those dangerous levels of inflammation. And I want you to think about that. We've heard about inflammation being the silent killer. We've heard that our whole life. But here's the reality. That inflammation, it is the silent killer, but it's also behind a lot of the pain and the aches that you're feeling on a daily basis. And it starts to spread throughout our body. But we claimed at the beginning of this presentation that we're going to show you how to have a brand new you in 2022. So my question, are you ready to learn, right, how our plant-based pledge can actually help you move towards living your best life possible? So if you're ready to learn, the first thing you have to do is address blood type. And so we want to invite you tonight to take a pledge with us. See, the person who invited you on the line, they care so much about you, and they want you to take this pledge with us. So once you decide that you want to take the pledge, we have a very simple website. It's called flatbellylifestyle.com. In fact, it's a free online support with our digital platform, and we're super excited because it just launched today. In fact, on the site, you can go right at the top and you can just click Get Started. That's going to let you register for the pledge, because our commitment is helping 1 million people learn their blood type so they can actually start to reverse some of the issues we're experiencing. Because we have food that's actually toxic to our blood. And some of this food we've eaten our whole life. And so if you're a type A blood and you're on the line, in fact, for those of you who already know your blood type, let's go ahead and hit the chat up and let us know, are you an A, a B, are you an O, are you an A, B? Let's let the guests know how powerful this movement is, because when we started, hardly no one knew their blood type. And now all of a sudden people are going out and they're getting their blood type tested. Look at that, the chat just blew up with people who actually know their blood type. And if you know that you're a blood type A, you're gonna find that you need to avoid most animal meats, right? And even bananas. If you're a blood type B, you're gonna learn how you should avoid avocado, black beans, chicken, and shrimp. Blood type O's, avocado and dairy and most grains and even white wine, you blood type O's. And then type ABs are actually a combination between A and B. But see, we teach you all of this when you join our online community. We actually have broken this down into 3 phases. Phase 1, that's for the person that just really isn't ready to go all the way in. Perhaps you want to make a few healthy lifestyle choices. For the person out there who's always thought about going vegan, we have phase 2 for you. And for those who really want to transform and go to that next level, phase 3 is our raw plant-based 21-day cleanse that we invite everyone to participate in. And with each phase, our team of experts has developed the support that you need, whether it's emotional support, because we know that emotional trauma, childhood trauma, and things we've experienced in our past often leads to disease. And in phase 1, you're going to be able to learn exactly what that means. There's an ebook, and there's even a recommended product pack with every phase. Phase 2, we give you all the supporting tools that you need. In fact, there's an ebook that we've developed for every single phase. And for those of you who are on the line tonight who are serious about having a new you in 2022, you really want to look at phase 3, because this is our 21-day raw plant-based cleanse that will absolutely take your life to that next level. And so what we're going to do real quick, we're going to go through just a little bit of what phase 3 entails. In fact, in the ebook, we're going to give you a new pyramid. So we've learned a food pyramid our whole life, but we know that the standard American diet is actually SAD, because that's the acronym it represents. In fact, if you remove the T from the word diet, it spells die. So they never designed this diet for us to live a healthy and vital life. And so this is your new food pyramid according to how to go plant-based for your blood type. In fact, we review and reveal delicious recipes. We make it simple so that you can build your own salads and tacos. Yeah, you can even have a raw taco based on the food groups that work well for your blood type. You're going to be able to dive right into these ebooks and learn exactly what you need to do to take your life to the next level. For the snackers out there, no worry. We've even built your blood type snacks that you're going to be able to jump in and pick the snacks that work for you. It involves 3 products that really support this type of process. In fact, these 3 products are amazing and formulated by our very own Dr. Prince, who you'll hear from in a moment. I want to go ahead and share our disclaimer, because it's important for you to know that these statements have not been approved by the FDA. The information is provided for educational purposes. These products should not be used to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose your condition. If you're under the care of a doctor or on medication, please consult with your physician before incorporating any new nutritional supplements or regimens. So now that we've gotten that out the way, I'm going to quickly just show you the 3 products that come with our phase 3. And first we have our Eliminator, really designed for you to eliminate those parasites and excess mucus, which is critical because these are what's going to rob you of your nutrients. Oftentimes we're not absorbing nutrients because we're full of mucus and excess parasites. Step 2 is our liquid colonic. The average person is reported to have at least 8 undigested meals in their gut at any one time. And so we want to help you remove those excess meals. And then of course we have to regenerate. We have to actually show you how to reverse your age by nourishing your cells with amazing superfoods like ashwagandha, noni fruit extract, chlorella. I mean, it is brilliantly formulated to deliver you the health you've desired your whole life. And the results have been absolutely amazing. When I look at the before and after pictures every day, they blow me away. Phyllis, thank you for being our pioneer. I mean, look at what she did in just a few weeks. I mean, that is just unbelievable. And then my son, I'm so proud of you, Tariq. He shed 25 pounds over the last 21 days. I mean, that's 21 days. And look at where he lost the weight, in the gut, where he needed to lose the weight the most. And that's what's so powerful about this program. I've never seen a program that actually targets that unwanted fat, the unwanted waste, right in that belly. And we're so proud of Mary Graham. She completed one of our first challenges and actually won second place. And look at those extraordinary before and after pictures and her progression. And then, of course, one of our most recent success stories, Gail King, who took the pledge. She's a former model, and she took that pledge to get back into model shape. And look what happened 21 days later. I mean, just absolutely amazing. And then, of course, we have Jocelyn Harris. When I read your story, you know, someone who's battled MS and so many other issues, but look at what's happened and how her life is transforming. And so, Jocelyn, we are so proud of you. And so you can see more testimonials by going online to flatbellylifestyle.com. Make sure you take note of our website. Make sure you review the product packages. We have 3 product packages: our phase 1 product package, our phase 2, and our phase 3 product package, which now includes a wellness coaching session with one of our designated coaches. And so we're super excited about that new wellness package that now has a coach included with that. And so what are your next steps? Your next steps, you're going to get with the person who invited you. You're going to decide, hey, do you want to go ahead and get that blood type done? That's step 1. Step 2, there's going to be something we introduce, and that's going to be through Dr. Eric Prince. He's going to talk about our scan and why everyone needs to have a Bioscan. And then step 3 is ordering your products. And so we've lined it up here. Get back with the person who invited you. You can actually purchase the products right on the Flat Belly Lifestyle, because it's going to allow you to actually find the name of the person who invited you so that you can connect right to their website. Even if you don't remember their website, you can find them and place that order. And so make sure you tune into our additional resources as well. And so we have our Flat Belly Lifestyle, we have our free ebook, and we've even created an online community on Facebook where you can join us and get expert tips on a daily basis. But we wanted to take it even further, because on our Flat Belly Lifestyle, we've actually created a community. And this community is for all 3 phases. You can actually connect with like-minded people, share recipes, and learn from our expert team of coaches. And so now, if you're ready to commit, if you're ready to pledge and join us on our mission for 1 million people to get their blood types tested over the next 18 months, make sure you get with the person who invited you. And so what I want to do now, it's exciting because now this is sort of our keynote presenter tonight. He's really here to deliver to you the meat of the subject tonight. And that's kind of ironic because we've kind of cut out the meat, right? We're going to talk about plant-based meats, right? And so what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to give him a proper introduction. And this is Eric Prince, a naturopath. He's helped thousands of people reverse chronic disease through diet and lifestyle changes. He was motivated to help people after he couldn't help his grandmother, who died of a heart attack during Thanksgiving in 1979. He also faced challenges with his health due to a toxic relationship, eating against his blood type, and over-consuming on animal protein. His quick bio, emergency medicine at Malcolm X College, chemical engineering and psychology, the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, holistic health and naturopathy under Dr. Layla Africa, Big Ten track and field athlete, Masters track and field athlete, 2011 Masters World Champion in the 400 meters, and he is currently at the age of 50 plus years old in training for the 2022 Collegiate Track and Field season. Without any further ado, Eric Prince, if you can go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Melissa. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm always sitting back wondering, who is she talking about? But I realized that these are all the accomplishments that I've had. And I haven't really thought about the accomplishments because I've just been living life and I've been experiencing my potential. And what I realize is that there is no end to our potential. We have a unlimited possibility, endless potential, and we're not tapping into it. And so that's what I want to do, is I want to begin to help people to tap into your potential and begin to activate the power that you have. And with that power, and I'm not talking about financial paper power, money. Now that's a different type of power that we believe is the only power. No, the true power is the power in heaven and earth, the power, the divine power that God gave us, because we're co-creators and we're also made in the likeness and image of God. And so until we start to live within our true identity, we're going to be falling like men and dying like one of the princes, because this is what's going on in our world today. We're living below our potential. And when you live below your potential, you can do things like live in poverty, get sick, have mental issues, have bad relationships, develop diseases, infections, all of these things. That's a whole nother world based upon how you think. So our goal is to help people to shift out of the old paradigm into a new paradigm. Paradigm is the way you see the world. But here's the problem. The way we see the world is the way we were taught. We were taught by our parents. We were taught by our teachers, by our peers, by our friends, by our families, our cousins. We was taught by people at every stage of our life. In other words, their reality became our reality. Now, the question is, how much of their potential were they activating that they shared with you? You're constrained by the thoughts and the behavior and the experiences of the people around you. So if you're looking around and you're unsatisfied with what's going on in your life, then you have to look at your upbringing. Who were you around mostly from the ages 1 through 7? Because at age 1 to 7, your brain is in nothing but theta download state. So you're literally, for the first 7 years of your life, all you're doing is downloading information, observing behaviors, observing personalities of the people around you. So if you weren't born into a prosperous family and you were born into the projects like I was, then that's all you knew. I was born into Cabrini Green, and I saw a lot of violence. I saw my mom being handled a certain way by her boyfriends. I never knew my father, never seen my father. And the sad part, my mom never talked about my father. So I don't know what happened. I'm afraid to ask because I don't want to open a door that might bring some type of skeleton out of the closet that I may not want to know. So the thing about it is that, I lived a life without my father, and the statistics of Black men growing up in the projects without their father is not good. But by the grace of God, I tell you, I made it out, which means that I was called. When you are called, you are established, you are reproved, and you are ready to do what you have to do. And so for this reason, I am here. And so when I learned that you can actually slow down your aging process, then I got excited. But I also learned later that you can reverse it. And when I learned that you can reverse your age, that became the career choice of my life, is to work on first reversing my own age. It's the reason at the age of 52 years young that I'm able to run college track and field. And I'm still fast. I'm still able to sprint. I'm still able to do college workouts. Actually, to me, there is no more time. I don't age anymore past 12 months. You know why? Because the stuff that causes aging, I can see it on the Bioscan, and I can deal with it through a cleanse and a detox process. See, the difference is a lot of times when we do the detox, and there are quite a few detox programs and processes out there, but this one is a divine process. Reason being is because we engage the mind in the healing process. When I sit you down in front of that Bioscan and we actually are able to ascertain what's going on in your body at the cellular level, what in the cell is going on. That's important. What in the cell is going on? We need to know what's happening in our cells, because by the time it gets into the organ, it's been there for quite some time. And I always tell you, and I always tell a lot of people that we're all waiting on the crisis. Yes, we were born into a crisis management system. We didn't really have a choice. We had a few remedies from our grandmother, a few remedies, from our mom, but we didn't really stick with that. When we got sick, what was the first thing we did? We went to the hospital. We went to the ER. If it was an emergency, we called 911. I know, because as a paramedic in the early 90s, I've been saving lives since 1994. And let me tell you, in the beginning, I was excited. I learned as much as I could because I never wanted to be in an emergency situation and not remember what I needed to save a person's life. So I studied hard, and I was Johnny on the spot. I was one of the best emergency medicine practitioners in the city. And you know who will validate me? Dr. Ian Smith, because me and Dr. Ian Smith, we worked in the University of Chicago ER back in the 90s. He was going through his residency at the time, and we were the two young brothers that was there. So if anything was going on in the ER, if there's anything going on in the hospital, we were on the spot. We were responding to those situations, and we was working together in order to save lives. And then later on, we split our directions, and we went in different ways. But he has always been someone who was very paramount in me becoming who I am, even right now. And so what I learned working in the emergency medical field was that even though I was well trained and I was able to save a life, what they didn't tell me was that I would still lose more people than I was able to save. I never learned that in the school. I thought that if I knew all that I needed to know, I can save everyone's life. But that's not the case. It didn't matter how much CPR I was doing. It didn't matter how successful I was at intubating. It didn't matter how successful I was at starting large bore IVs on trauma patients, on car accidents, on gunshot wounds, on stabbings, on kids falling down elevator shafts, on girls being stabbed in their heart, vampire style, with a pick just for their jacket. These are the things I had to deal with day in and day out. And yes, I got cold. I didn't even have good relationships anymore after that. You know why? Because in order for me to do my job, I had to be able to get through the trauma and the atrocities that was going on in Chicago that wasn't being reported on the news. Yeah, you hear about a lot of stuff on the news, but you don't hear about a lot of the atrocities that are going on. But the paramedics, the emergency medical practitioners, we see it every day. And I grew cold. I couldn't have a decent relationship. I had a girlfriend at that time, and she wound up breaking up with me, broke my heart, tremendously. Had me crying in public. That's how bad my heart was broken. And you know what? She did me a justice, because I didn't even know my heart existed until it was broken. And somehow that breakup caused me to feel that energy center in the middle of my chest. They call it a heart chakra. And I felt that center. And from that point on, I was able to start activating these centers in my body through meditation. And as I started learning meditation, because I had to do something to help me get through that situation, and I learned meditation, and eventually it helped me to go through an awakening that led me to the land of Israel, which is the Holy Land, where I saw and spent time with a Black community of people, and everybody was vegan. Nobody ate meat. And this was back in May of 2004. So when I left Chicago to take this trip to Israel, and I spent a few weeks with the community, they fed me vegan food because it was a part of the package. And man, that vegan food was great. I never knew how well a meal could be without meat, because all I knew was how to eat meat morning, noon, night. Bacon in the morning, chicken for lunch, steak for dinner. Bacon, chicken, steak. Bacon, chicken, steak. Bacon, chicken, steak. You see what I'm saying? I was overdosing on animal protein. And I thought it was great because at that time, I was actually starting to become a bodybuilder. So, with bodybuilders, we're told, you get your protein in order to build that muscle mass. Well, the consequences is high blood pressure. The consequences is heart disease. Yeah, and I was starting to see some of that stuff. But when I went to Israel and I had the experience of seeing a Black community of people, and everybody from the children to the elders were vegan. That means that nobody ate animals, nothing with eyeballs and parents, nothing with eyeballs and children. Nobody was eating children over in Israel. You see what I'm saying? I know that sounds a little harsh, but I'm doing that on purpose. I want you to understand that it's the meat that has been killing us, and it's still killing us. So when we talk about detoxifying your body, we're talking about correcting the damage that has been done from the diet you were given. And in order for us to do that, you have to sit down, you have to do what's called a bioscan. You have to do that bioscan, because what the bioscan does, it engages the mind in the healing process. It's always mind over matter. It's always been mind over matter. That's why the placebo effect is so important in the medical world, because anytime they do a drug trial, they do a placebo trial to make sure the mind is not interfering in the effects of the drug, which means that if I give you a sugar pill and I tell you that it's going to lower your blood pressure, and you take it and it lowers your blood pressure, but the pill was only a sugar pill, there was nothing in that pill to affect your body, and it does lower it's been proven that your blood pressure will go down because of the pill you got, but the pill was only a sugar pill. That only means one thing: your mind was the operant power in the healing process. If you don't engage the mind in the healing process, you will not have a complete healing. And it's important to understand that when you heal the body, you have to heal it on a level of mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. So yes, this is a spiritual process that engages the mind to heal the body. Let me say that again. This is a spiritual process that engages the mind to heal the body. Okay? That's why it's so important, because that's how we deal with complete healing. And as a people, we have a lot of deep-rooted subconscious wound from even the times of slavery, when our ancestors had to sit on those ships for hours, for days. They had to be attached to dead bodies that was starting to rot, that was starting to stink. They had to be next to other slaves that was releasing their bowels. These are the people, the genes that allows us to be here. So we need to start appreciating the ones that came before us that made a way so we can be here. And we've been squandering that gift. We've been squandering that opportunity, but now we have the power to get it back, because they say that this is the first generation of children that will not outlive their parents. And I thought it was just a theory. I thought they was just talking. But when I started scanning young girls that was 13, and this 13-year-old girl was not overweight, she was already looking at borderline diabetes at the age of 13. Not type 1, type 2. Type 2 is when you get it later on in life, sometimes when you turn 40, 50, or 60. Well, we sometimes believe that that's okay. We used to call these conditions age-related diseases, right? Now we call them lifestyle-related, because it's based upon your lifestyle. And it doesn't matter now how old you are. So now I'm seeing younger kids dealing with conditions that normally we would see in 50, 60, and 70-year-old people. but now we're seeing them in our young kids. So I know without a shadow of a doubt that our younger generation is dying. And you know where they're moving to? Infertility. Infertility. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie before. It's called The Children of Men. And it's about it's a movie about a society where no one can have children anymore. Everybody is growing old and nobody's having children. And damn right. You know, we have to get away from that, because that is not a movie. That is a prophecy. If we don't start now helping our children, then they're not going to be able to have children, which means we're going to become very extinct. And I don't want that. And I know you don't want that. And so that's why it's so important that we get back to first bringing redemption to our own bodies. Coming into this process, coming into Wakanda, coming into this partnership, you will have the opportunity to do something that has never been done in your family. And that is to reverse the generational curse that's on your bloodline. Now you can reverse that curse. And instead of passing down bad health, now you can pass down generational health, good health, as you pass down generational wealth. Now we have access to wealth and health. Before, people had a lot of access to wealth, but they didn't have access to health. So they got all of these millions of dollars, but then when their health started paying the price, everything started to deteriorate. So they spent their health chasing wealth. And then in the end, they spent their wealth trying to get back their health. And you may know one of these people. His name is Robert Kiyosaki. You familiar with this guy, Robert Kiyosaki? Well, I was watching him one time, and yes, he's a successful guy. He knows a lot of big people, made a lot of money, but he also had heart surgery. He also has he must have had a heart attack or something. But the point is that his health is paying a price now. So in a few years, he may not be able to enjoy that because he's dying. If he got with Wakanda and us, we can probably save his life, and he can infuse that money into what we're doing to help the rest of the world, as well as our people, as well as his people, if he had the right guidance. But a lot of people don't. So what we need to do is we need to start to become a part of a system and a community where we can start reaching out and we can start helping others, first in our community and then all the other communities around us. Because when we start doing that, then we now have the power to change the world. And I will declare and decree that, even if I had to do it alone, but now I know I don't. Now I know that I'm not going to be up against the pharmaceutical industry by myself. We're going to be up against an industry as a team, as a group, but we're already showing precedents. We're already showing testimonies. You see what I'm saying? So nobody can dispute what we're doing because God established it. And if he established it, he's going to finish it. And he's going to protect us in the process as we do it. So do I live in fear? No, because God did not give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. God is love. Why would God give us fear when fear weakens the immune system? Yes, fear weakens the immune system. And if God built in you a powerful immune system and you live in fear, then it is not God's fault that you get sick. It is not God's fault that you get an infection. It is not God's fault. So don't even blame him. It is your fault, because if you have not been a good steward over your body, over what God gave you, what he created in you that you don't even understand, then it's your responsibility to get your immune system back right. And this is the foundation of what we're doing and why we're doing it. If you don't know your blood type, and you never knew your blood type growing up, and many of us didn't, there are people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that didn't know their blood type. You know what that tells me? that you've been living in the dark for a long time. You had no control over your health, no control over your life. And that I apologize for, because man, this should have been introduced to you a long time ago. But as long as you have breath, as long as you're still living, as long as you are still walking this planet, you have time to turn some stuff around. And you have time to redeem your own body. You have time to redeem your mother. You have time to redeem your mother's mother. You have time to save your children. Because if you don't, who will? If we don't do it, who will? We can't rely upon the politicians to do this. They don't know. They're coming to us also. If my frat brother, John, from the civil rights movement, if my frat brother John, who died of cancer, if I would have been able to get to him, I could have saved him. I reached out. Somebody let me know that our frat brother was dealing with cancer, but I wasn't able to get to him, and he died. And he was a very positive figure. He walked and marched with Dr. King, but that wasn't enough, because once his health kicked in, once the bad health kicked in, it didn't matter what he had accomplished, because now it was all over. Those days are out. What we do here, the momentum will last for centuries. And some of us will be around for centuries. You see what I'm saying? The scientists are now saying that the first person to reach 500 has already been born. The first person to reach 500 has already been born. Now, scientists are just now saying this, but I've been talking about this for over a decade. I already knew that the power of age reversal meant longevity, because if you are spending time reversing your biological age, you're moving further away from the crisis. And the further you move away from the crisis, the further you move away from death. Then somebody come and ask me and say, well, what if you get hit by a bus? That was ignorant. You see, what I'm saying is this, is that as within, so without. You're not going to get hit by a bus, because when you start healing the inside, you're also healing your vibrations and you're healing your frequency, which means that now you're vibrating on a higher frequency. In fact, it will become impossible to touch you. Isn't that what Psalms 91 say? 1,000 shall fall by your side, 10,000 by your right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the rewards of the wicked. But if you have made the Lord, which is my habitation, even the Most High, there shall no evil befall you, neither shall any plague, sickness, or illness come nigh thy dwellings. That sounds like a very powerful statement. If nothing's going to come near you, and even in that same Psalms, it says not even sickness will come near you. So yes, stop believing in foolishness. You're not going to get hit by a bus. You're not going to die from an infection. You're not going to die from COVID. None of that stuff. That's going to be the old world that we just read about in history books pretty soon. We're creating a new world. Join us in creating this, because this has never happened like this before, and it won't ever happen again. So when you join us, when you join what we're doing, become a part of it, become a coach, get in there, heal your own body, then help us to heal other people, our loved ones. When you do that, you're now working on becoming a part of the kingdom of God on earth. Yes, the kingdom of God on earth, the kingdom. The kingdom will begin here with Wakanda. And he said, in the days of these kings, God will set up a kingdom on this earth, which means that we're not trying to die to go to heaven. That was an old myth taught to us by some, Catholic priests. No, we're not dying to go to heaven. If God is bringing the tabernacle down, then why are we trying to go up? I'm not trying to go up if all the action is down here. He also says that the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Death and hell will be cast into the lake of fire. So that means that we're moving towards a world where people are not dying prematurely. In fact, people are not dying for centuries. Doesn't that sound a lot like pre-flood days, before we started eating meat? The inevitable will of God is to return man back to his original diet. There is no one that is going to stop that. I don't want to stop it, but I do want to help as many people as possible to make that transition before you won't have time. And when you don't have any more time, and you're going to be looking for us, you're going to be looking for that place of safety for the people of Wakanda. We're going to be so high, you won't be able to touch us because we'll be on the clouds, but we'll still be on earth. But you won't be able to touch us because you won't be able to see us because we'll be at such a high vibration and you'll be at such a low vibration, you won't see that we're right next to you. And that would be the worst feeling in the world, because at that moment, you now know that you have been left behind. So I'm going to turn it over to Mooney to finish us off. But yes, the Bioscan is a powerful equipment that helps us to identify where your body is storing waste. And when we know where we're storing waste, you're actually going to have a regimen that's going to start to address those issues, reverse that condition, get you away from any sign and symptom, and it's going to bring you off any medication. It's going to get your energy back up, and it's going to get the weight off. And now, you're back in your prime, as I am. So if you decide you want to go back to competing as you competed in college or high school, it's your prerogative, because you'll have the body. You'll have the body, you'll have the energy. And I'm not saying in theory. I ran at the Olympic trials in 2012. I was 43 years young. I won the 200 meters in my heat. Now, it wasn't fast enough to get me to the Olympics, but it didn't matter. I won. And even though I didn't get to the Olympics, when I finished that race, every white person in that stand wanted an autograph. I felt like a celebrity. And at that moment, I realized that, man, I create life the way I desire it, not the way somebody told me it should be. And this is the same we want to do with you. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for your patience. Mooney, before,
go ahead.
Yeah, nothing. I just wanted to say, come on and say what you got to say, man.
Well, I tell you, you know what, Eric? I'm going to be so transparent, man. This was a space, and no offense to our wonderful founders for African-American women that has started this whole movement. But I have been praying for powerful men with gifts. And they say our gifts make room for us and put us before great men. Well, I say our gifts make room for us and put us before great women. Because your gift, brother, that you are bringing to this table has been phenomenal. It's been enlightening. It's been powerful. And in a matter of I would say less than a month, right? As you walked into the dispensary that you came to visit, I look at so many people. There was up to 279 people on this call. And I have not seen the numbers like that before, right? Which means clearly, especially going into 2022, that there's a demand on health. And I don't want to believe that that's just a demand on somebody's personal health, but as you say, a demand on generational health. A lot of times, and you have brought this out, that we talk about generational wealth, but generational health, when you scan a young lady and you saw that at 13 years old, she was already type 2 diabetic. Like, wow. So what I want to do, because I see the chat has been blowing up, I've been taking a couple notes, and a lot of people are like, well, what is it that we're actually doing? How do we get started? Trying to understand it. Well, I tell you all, our phenomenal CEO has put together a website portal that is so amazing. Somebody drop it in the chat, flatbellylifestyle.com, because she made this so simple and in such a system that is so amazing, because a lot of times we don't have a system or community to plug into where we can get a person like Eric, as precious as he is, in the household of the average person. And I'm looking at so many people here that are average people that need the help. And a lot of times we don't get that information. So minimum, I want everybody to go to that website and register. Minimum, if it's just to say, I know about it and I can pass this information on to my loved ones, they can learn. Because how many of you have ever heard about, number one, eating according to your blood type? I did not believe that as a blood type, and I just found out my blood type. I should have known this. My doctor should have told me this. But to find out that I and my wife are a B positive and that I should not be eating avocados, Eric, and I love and have been tearing up some avocados. I eat them with every salad. But then to know that, would you believe, Eric, all my life I've been eating chicken, and according to my blood type, I shouldn't have been eating it. But to be
and what happened to you? What happened to you?
That
crisis you had.
Possibly my crisis of being a cancer survivor, leukemia. I cannot rule out that my immune system was subject to that and broken down to being pliable to the disease if it had not been for my diet. You get what I'm saying? I cannot rule that out. And the doctors wasn't going to tell me that. But we have some reveals here, right? By starting out to give you some truth. And it starts with that website. It starts with going on that website and then actually going through the steps, because even in that website, we'll share with you how you can find out what your blood type is if you don't know it. We have a food list on that website that will share with you what you should and should not eat. Not just that. You heard Eric mention a biometric scan, a microbicellular scan, right? I and my family have had that done. Let me share. This is so important, you all. I just had my sons. I did it myself. I did my son about 10 minutes before we got on this call. We learned what his blood type was. Why? Because we wanted to stop the generational curse of feeding our kids what we have been feeding them, and not knowing if it does them harm or doing it good. And congratulations, Zion. He's a AB positive. So we will look at the list and be able to rule out the things that he shouldn't be eating. That's powerful. And where do we learn that? Right here. So go to the website, right? Do something that you have never done before in your family, right? Do something right now, and it's going to that website. So ask yourself, write down these questions. Somebody type in the chat. What is your blood type? You don't know it? Even if you do know it, you need to understand it. Go to that website, find out what's going on. Number 2, what's happening? You heard Eric share, and he shared some stuff that Eric gave me an analogy. He said this. He said, either your body is like a toilet where things just flush through like they're normally supposed to do so, or it's a porta potty. And I thought about, like, a porta potty, Eric? Like, you going there? The conviction immediately, like, oh my God. So let me say 14 days, you all, of being off the porta potty. And I feel amazing. I tell you, be transparent because of, what is it called, Eric? Heart timers, or what is it?
Alzheimer's.
No. What you say, we reach that point and where bodies might kind of be resistant to the shift and mucus and all of that.
Oh, well, so you're talking about insulin resistance. Sorry.
No. I'm talking about when you're going through the detox, the cleanse.
The Herxheimer reactions.
Okay. So I'm coming out of that. I had a small stage of that. I believe so, because I'm feeling much better. Yesterday, anyway. Well, you have coaches, you all, right? We're developing, there's only 3 coaches. Would you believe that for a little over a month, there have been 3 coaches, started out with 2, now 3, that have been scanning minimum 20 people every Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm going to tell you how you can do that too, because you can go to the website if you're in the Chicagoland area right now and actually meet Eric and myself and the team at the dispensary and find out what's going on inside of your body. But you have to be on the website and set that schedule. That's in place right now, starting on the 18th. But you can go to that website and put it on there, but you have to go to the website. So one amazing thing is that Florence, I want to congratulate her because she put it in the chat and I saw it. She said, you know what? She asked a couple questions, is this plant-based? And she said, I just purchased my 21-day cleanse. Now, obviously, that's somebody who's brand new, invited by somebody that says, you know what? I'm just not going to play with this. I already know this is a new year. I'm not trying to be in the old. I'm trying to get into a new wineskin. I'm trying to start that now. So she went straight to the website and said, I just purchased my 21-day cleanse because I'm not playing anymore. Well, I tell you all, you saw the pictures that Melissa shared on the screen. Those are real people. And in 21 days, they've been able to have not just weight loss, but have waist loss, right? Yeah. And transform their lives in a matter of 21 days. Now, this isn't a fad, you all. This is not conventional. This is not something that we're used to, but it's real. And to have someone like Eric combined with our CEO, our chief medical officer, Dr. Rita, Senator Pat, right? Our chief sales officer, Phyllis Nash, to have a collective synergistic energy come together at this particular time. And the demand on you may be, I need to do something because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's right now. So I think I've covered pretty much everything. Go to the website, follow the steps, identify where you are and identify where you want to be. And I see somebody dropping it in the chat. You all click on it and give a shout out to the person that invited you. Drop their names right now. But it's because they love you and because they thought of you. And some of you might have been thinking, well, this is all about this or this is all about that. No, this is all about you. You have the opportunity, like my brother, who sometimes we don't talk enough. I've been knowing Eric for over 25 years. He pledged me. I'm going to beat him up later on because he beat me up when we was online. But over 25 years. And the unfortunate part about that is we never really talked because I could have saved some things that I have been through in my body years ago. Yeah. The problem is will you say something to the person, one, that invited you here tonight and say thank you and reach out to them? Or will you say something to the people that you know, whether it's your nephew, maybe it's your niece, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your uncle and auntie, so that you can help them? So one more thing, without a clarion call for more help, then of course we wouldn't have duplication and we wouldn't reach the millions of people that we're talking about reaching. So would you all believe that Eric has set forth a mandate in our company with the geniusness of Melissa Boston have said, we're gonna duplicate and have many Erics around there. Now, of course, we probably won't learn as much as he will learn, but we have a coaching program that if you finish your 21-day cleanse, well, let me not say if, when you do finish your 21-day cleanse and you want to find yourself like myself in my home and put myself in a position to scan my whole family, right? Or maybe go to the church and sit and set up my machine right there and impact some lives just based on information. Well, we're making it possible. Eric is making it possible, and Melissa and our phenomenal C-suite, we call them, the Harriet Tubmans of this industry are making it possible where you can do that too. Now, you probably won't see all that information in the website. I mean, in the website that we're giving you, but we can show you how to get there. There's something, and if you desire to help more people, then that's the place for you. Maybe God is calling you to be there. But with that being said, continue to drop in the chat who invited you. And I think I've said enough. Eric, I love you. I'm already loving the way that I feel. Look, this is one of my tight shirts, Eric. And I was able to get in. And why? Because I'm down to 205. Probably lower. I didn't weigh myself today. But Eric, I started out at 200.
Wow.
221 pounds. And I'm not talking about weight. I'm talking about weights. And you see how small this shirt is?
Yeah, you look good, man. You look good. Look at it. Oh, snap. You're going to be hanging out with the big dogs now. And you know what, Mooney? I do have another testimony.
No working out, though. I didn't work out.
Well, you need to work out, man. You probably should come work out with me at the gym.
Oh, no. Oh, here we go. He sounds like Minister Ernstine.
There's a testimony out there I definitely want people to hear about. And her name is Carol Sidnor. And it started when Melissa called me and we did a 3-way call to talk to her because she's not from here. And she wasn't feeling well. She didn't have another option except the healthcare industry. And I just want you to, I want to use her as an example because she went through a hard time with the cleanse. And if she didn't have a coach, she would have quit because she was really going through it. And I'm going to tell you, Sharon is on here as well. And Sharon is going to help her with this testimony because you need to know how we work with people to get them through this, because it doesn't matter if you think you're healthy. Once you start that cleanse and them toxins start coming up, and I'm talking about if you've ever been to a cookout, a barbecue, if you've ever been to a Thanksgiving dinner, you have toxins sitting in your body waiting to disrupt your comfort. And when you start detoxing, no matter how good you look beforehand, how you felt, you ain't got to be on any medication. But when you start detoxing, those toxins are going to rip through because they got to get out. And guess what? They got to come through the certain channels in which they got there. And it's not going to be comfortable. So I want to bring Carol up. And I think you're on. Are you on there, Carol?
Yeah, go ahead and unmute Carol. Let me see if I can find you to unmute. Hold on. All right, here we go. All right, click the screen and you can unmute. There you go.
Hey, Carol.
Hi.
Right. Give them your story, Carol, because you looking great. You're shining. But, man, tell them a while ago.
Going, right?
A while ago, it was rough, wasn't it?
It was rough. It was rough. It's God, and I know it's God, nobody but God. I had called Melissa one evening, and I just said, Melissa, I need your help. I'm going to get through this without crying, I promise. No, I don't promise. I have had a 52-year medical nightmare. I've been given 3 years to live twice. I've had 11 surgeries and 7 autoimmune diseases. And it just kept coming and coming. I changed my lifestyle. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. I was taking supplements. Melissa contacted, actually, Dr. Prince was in the office that day. And she said, I had just talked to him this morning about you. And so we connected. I ordered the product immediately. And I went through exactly what you were talking about, Minister Mooney, only it took me to the hospital. They told me I had, not the hospital, I went to urgent care first, which told me I had pneumonia and I needed to get to the hospital. I get to the hospital and the hospital said they're crazy. They took x-rays, they did a COVID, they did a throat, strep throat, and they said there was nothing, everything was negative. They called me when they were coming from Atlanta on the plane because Gigi had told Melissa what was going on with me. Melissa called me from the plane. They talked to me from the plane. Who does that?
Right.
From the plane to tell me what I was going through because I didn't know what was happening to me. And when I tell you I was a sick cookie when I met these three, there's so many people I need to thank. I need to thank you, Minister Mooney, for bringing him. I need to thank Melissa for introducing me. And I need to thank Gigi for starting this whole thing in the beginning. But I was on death row, guys. This was number 3. And I'm telling you that I was home after I come back from it was before I went to the hospital. That same day, my 9-year-old granddaughter was home and I went to the bathroom and I fell. I don't know how, I didn't feel it coming. I just fell. She was hysterical and she called her mother, and thank God my daughter works like 7 minutes away. But I couldn't get up from the floor. I could not get up from the floor. But I tell you the difference in how I feel right now after having gone through the.
Yeah.
So let me interrupt one thing. So when I talked to Dr. Prince on the phone, I was ready. I have 1 more week to go. I said, there's no way I can go shopping. There's no way I can clean the vegetables. No way I can juice them. I need to get a week to get myself together. He said, if you stop, you will not start again. And he told me an alternative, and I did it, and I completed that 21 days. I still do my juice right now. I'm telling y'all, this is a godsend. Don't let it slip by you. If there's any, first of all the thing, when I found out what to eat right for my blood type, everything I've eaten was wrong. I am a seafood lover. Everything I was eating was wrong. I'm 77 years young, and I have probably eaten it all of my life. Avocado, like you, I'm not supposed to, I should avoid it. I was eating avocado every single day.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar, which you think is good for you. It is for some people, but it was not good for me. No vinegar whatsoever.
Yes.
Tell you the learning that I have taken place in my life, the hope I now have, the belief that I know that there is so many more people that I need to touch. So I am one of those soon to be coaches.
Oh, love it.
Anybody who has gone through anything that looks like me, and to help prevent anybody from going through it. Dr. Prince, I thank you so very much.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Mooney, can you unmute Sharon?
Let
real
me
quick,
see.
'cause-
Where is she? Sharon. Let me find her. Ah, there she is. Let's see.
Beautiful.
Go ahead. Go ahead, unmute, Sharon.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Carol.
Hi, sweetheart.
So good to see you.
You too, you too. I mean, you talk about being, like I said, 52 years of dealing with, and I'm not putting down medical. I know now, even from what we were talking about earlier, past this, that what I was eating, how even when I changed my whole lifestyle, I was changing it to the wrong things that I should have been avoiding for my body. So the way you have kept up with me, the way you have emailed me, the way anytime Sharon says, Carol, anytime you call me, Dr. Prince would call me or text me. I'm telling you, the support that you guys have given me is by far top of the line, and I so appreciate it.
I
Well,
love it.
I want to say, Carol, it was truly a pleasure to coach you through the process. I'm getting all emotional because I'm so happy for you. Whew.
I know.
But you also allowed yourself to be coachable.
Yes.
And I really want to impress that upon everybody, because everybody does need a coach going through this process. It is not easy. And as you all can see, it's more difficult for some than others. But putting yourself in a position where you are allowing yourself to be coached, where you are keeping in contact with your coach, talking to them, telling them what's going on with you, whether it be good or bad, is so important, and asking whatever questions there may be. Oftentimes people say, I don't really want to bother you, and I don't really want to, I had a question, but I didn't want to bother you. Bother me. Bother me. That is why I'm here. It is so important, because the smallest question that you may have, like, should I be eating this nut or should I eat that nut, is super important to the success and progress that you get during this process. So as your coach, we are here to support you in any way that we possibly can. Sometimes you may need emotional support, and you just may need to talk out a situation, or you may need for someone to tell you that you need to forgive somebody. Whether you might have to just make a phone call and just say to that person, whether they want to forgive you or not, say you're sorry, and that you want them to forgive you, but you don't need them to forgive you, because you need to forgive yourself. It's so important. um, the emotional stress and trauma that we deal with on a daily basis, from family to friends to jobs to just past traumas, like Eric said earlier, of our own history. Those things have invaded our organ systems and made us sick, and we need to be able to let go. We got to be able to let go. We got to be able to talk it out, walk it out, and flush it out. Those things are so important, and I'm just so overjoyed and thankful to be a part of this movement. The work that Eric and I have done together has been amazing. The teachings that I've got from him have been amazing. He's a great mentor. Um, he's a great friend. And of course, he has my heart. Y'all know that. He has my heart, truly. Um, and Carol, you have my heart. I love you so much. And I'm so thankful and so grateful to have been a part of your journey. And I thank you for allowing me to be that.
Wow. You know what you are witnessing, and so Eric shared with us earlier today, because we have coaching training going on right now, because the process is, and the mandate that our visionary Melissa Boston spoke on, is that we're targeting, helping so many people like Carol, so many people like myself, so many people that need what it is that Eric and Sharon have brought to this platform. They need it. So this isn't typical, you all. And I see some of the questions, as Eric shared in the beginning, like, this is a little different when it comes to your blood type, because we're not all the same. But there are some key components that you're going to learn. In first step, I see a lot of questions. Go to the website, get back with the person that invited you. And I tell you, there's so much content, mental material, physical, health information that you're going to learn, and it's not going to be like you've ever heard before. And let me tell you, as a cancer survivor and trying to practice good health, thinking that I've been eating good, right, in the matter of health, even to a point thinking that I've been eating nutritiously healthy, it's just always something new to learn, although it's not new under the sun. And this is what, let me say, that God does, is he introduces you. When there's help that's needed, he always sends help. And this is what's happened in the environment and in the movement, as you heard Sharon say, within Wakanda. So I see some of the questions, the way that I would answer some of the questions, because I know that it will happen, is that you go to the website, right? Go to the website. It is going to make sense. The last question that I see, the answer to that is everybody needs a coach. Every single person who signs up for, especially when it comes to phase 3, you need someone like Sharon. You just heard what I shared. You heard what Miss Carol shared. You need a coach. Like when you go for help and you're trying something that the doctor has told you, you need that doctor. You need the person to call on. You need minimum to have the accessibility to get help, because there's always help. And we're making sure there is always help. So I'm going to turn this back over to our CEO. I think we've shared and everything. I want to be respectful of time. We're going to get out of here by 6:30 at the max. If Melissa doesn't have anything else to share, I see her. She popped her head in. There she is, you all, sitting in the headquarters. Hey, Melissa. Happy New Year, everybody. Go ahead.
Hi, Carol. Oh my goodness. It is so good to see you, looking so beautiful as always. And I'm just always inspired by you. We always tell people you have no excuse when you understand what people go through on a daily basis. And Carol, we know your battle, the battle you've been through over the last 5 decades. And just to see some resolution because of this amazing team. Sharon, oh my goodness, thank you for your compassion in which how you coach and nurture our group. And of course, Eric, we've given you so many praises because you know how much we love both of you. You guys are just awesome. He's the guru. Somebody said, oh, this is the Dr. Oz, right? So no, it's not the Dr. Oz. You are beyond Dr. Oz times 100. I mean, this is some new information that most of us have never heard in our lifetime. And so I just want to say thank you all. This is the kickoff day. And what a way to kick it off by sharing just such an inspiring story and testimonial. So I want to just thank you so much, Carol, for sharing, because you pretty much kind of shut the mic, or what do they say? You broke the internet tonight. I mean, everybody's filled up. I mean, I had to sit here and dry up my tears. I'm just so filled right now because I know this is the beginning. This is the beginning of us absolutely transforming the lives of millions of people all across the country. And so I just want to say thank you all. Go to the website, flatbellylifestyle.com. Our 2.0, our pledge starts today. Now, who is already starting their pledge today? Hit us up in the chat if you're starting today, tomorrow. I want to know who's starting when, because Sharon and Eric, they're going to be following up with each and every one of you. So expect a call, guys, over the next 7 days so that we can find out how you're doing with your phase 3 pledge, okay? So with that being said, thank you all.
Love you all. Have a great night. God bless.